Hey, everybody. Thank you for joining us this evening for the Healthy Hustle. Today, I want to share with you a video called Harvesting for the Future that our president and CEO, Jerry Anderson, is going to take us through. But I'm going to pause at a couple of key moments to make a couple of additional points or call out what I think are some of the most important points. But the bottom line is this. This is a video about where we harvest, and how we process, and our advantages and why we think we're worth the investment when it comes to our nutritional products. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to pause periodically just to make a couple of points. Jerry says it best, but I want to call out a couple of things as we go through this to provide maybe a little bit more context and highlight a couple of things about our harvesting and processing. So here we go.
Hi, I'm Jerry Anderson, president of New Earth. Here at New Earth, we specialize in bringing Earth's first foods to you in as close to their raw natural form as possible. Wild Microalgae from Klamath Lake, Oregon, our flagship offering, is one of these ancient foods. New Earth carefully harvests the microalgae of Phanozomenon and Floss aqua from Klamath Lake every summer. This microalgae is a phenomenal and renewable natural resource.
So what you're looking at there, for those that may not be familiar, is the actual AFA from the lake. So he's just scooping water out of this 26-mile long, 5-6 mile wide lake. And this is what becomes our organic wild microalgae in the form of body and mind. And so let's continue.
We feel privileged to be able to collect this bounty with the vision of making it available to every body and soul on the planet. We consider ourselves stewards of this ecosystem and operate in a sustainable manner. That's because we want to preserve this natural resource for the future. The Klamath Lake watershed is a pristine, fertile environment. Water that flows into Klamath Lake and ultimately to the Pacific Ocean originates from dozens of tributaries and springs.
And there's no stock photography here. This water that you're seeing and all of the scenes from the boat moving along the lake are all from this area. I mean, the water is unbelievable. Those of you who've had the chance to fill a water bottle at Kimball State Park and drink it know that it is just the most incredibly neutral tasting water that comes from so many spring sources and Crater Lake that fill this lake, that help fill this lake full of beautiful AFA. It's just amazing. So we'll continue.
They run through volcanic soil that provides nutrients and minerals for wild microalgae to thrive. The watershed is monitored by New Earth and also by our organic certifier.
And I want to pause there real quick because this watershed in the Klamath Basin is enormous. The watershed that feeds into Klamath Lake and the springs that feed into Klamath Lake are enormous. And when our organic certifiers first came here to get us our organic certification, yearly they do a tour around the whole watershed just to see what's going on around that. Is there any anything going on around here? And they were blown away at how little there is going on in this watershed. I mean, there's some agriculture, there's some recreation on the lake. We got fishermen, we got kayakers and things like that. But basically we have some agriculture, the little resort of Rocky Point, and we have the city of Klamath Falls. But that's about it. It's really, really quiet for its scale. And the scale is enormous. Again, it's 5 miles wide, 26 miles long, and that's just the water. And so we'll continue.
We keep a close eye on the watershed to ensure it's kept in its pristine condition. New Earth has 3 high-tech harvesters to collect wild microalgae: Mazama, Shasta, and McLaughlin. They are named after nearby volcanic peaks, which are part of the Pacific Ring of Fire and pay tribute to the local ecosystem. Crater Lake sits inside the caldera of Mount Mazama. Crater Lake is the deepest lake in the United States and one of the purest in the world. Mount Shasta is a beautiful 14,000-foot volcanic mountain, the largest peak in the Cascade Mountain Range, and is named after a local Native American tribe. And Mount McLaughlin is a prominent landmark on the west side of Klamath Lake in the Sky Lakes Wilderness area and stands almost 10,000 feet tall. All 3 harvesters were designed and built by New Earth's engineering team. Our newest harvesters, Shasta and McLaughlin, have state-of-the-art technology that was incorporated. Just a few of the technological advantages are: number one, selective collection, so that we only collect the wild microalgae and avoid other types of algae that may be present.
And this is a very important point about selective collection, because you don't think twice about when you shop for cremini mushrooms that you're getting anything but cremini mushrooms. And many of you probably recognize a cremini mushroom next to a different kind of mushroom, let's say. But here, where you got to use microscopes to make sure that you're getting only the best AFA. And that's what we do, and that's what we're experts at. And our certifications guarantee that what you're getting is pure AFA in its most pristine form. And that's why our harvest capacity that Jerry's talking about here, and our QC capacity here, and our expertise in harvesting AFA and only AFA really come into play. So let's keep going.
2, we can harvest effectively at a lower biomass level. That is, when there is a lower concentration of algae in the lake, we can still harvest with this new technology. And 3, the harvest window is extended due to the selective collection and the ability to harvest at a lower biomass level. That's important because we only have a short window of opportunity to harvest each summer, so we have to collect as much as possible when the microalgae is available. And we have even more capacity to harvest algae.
But it's important to have the harvest capacity because it increases our season, but it also increases our ability to be very, very selective in when we choose to harvest and harvesting algae at its absolute peak, so that we're getting you the best that we can. Yeah, I'll keep saying that. It is a bit of a theme, but that's the point of this video, is the difference between us and other producers in the direct sales business and other producers of AFA. But we'll get to that in a minute.
We are meticulous with the harvesting process. That's because the process can have a significant impact on the quality of microalgae. So we've refined our techniques to preserve all the goodness found in wild microalgae. It begins.
Okay. So this freeze frame that you're seeing right here is wild microalgae in the lake. It just kind of circulates around at the lake level. And for those of you who have not seen this operation before with your own eyes, those drums and those conveyor belts go into the water and they pick this algae up. And if I can buzz back just a second, this is what it looks like once it has been moved off of those conveyor screens or those drums. And so the lake water is basically removed. Now it looks slimy because it is, but it's a wonderful slime for those of you who are familiar with this, and those of you who we hope yet are not yet familiar with this. But this is algae that is very first step out of the lake as we begin to process this.
All the goodness found in wild microalgae. It begins with an onboard selective separation step to collect only wild microalgae and avoid all others. Then an important step to preserve the nutrient content, especially on hot summer days. We cool down the algae to refrigeration temperature, about 40 degrees Fahrenheit, within minutes of removing it from the lake.
And that's a very important point that he's making there. And now when it comes to people that produce AFA for a living, we brought this product to market, and we have invested over all of our years to improve and improve and improve as best we can. We have multi-generation people working on harvest, like fathers and sons. and one thing that we do that others do not do is that we get this algae out of the water and cooled down from lake temperature to refrigerator temperature to frozen way faster than anybody else out there on the lake. And that makes a big difference in quality. Many of you have tried our competitors' products, and we welcome you to go ahead and do so, because we're confident you'll be back because of the quality that we produce. So let's keep going.
Then we have equipment that removes all the excess water. When we dry the microalgae later, having all the extracellular water removed makes the drying process much quicker. We employ high-speed boats to transport algae to shore quickly. The trip to our marina takes only minutes, not hours. And once the microalgae is in our manufacturing facility, we freeze it rapidly to lock in the nutrients. With this freezing system, It only takes a couple of hours to freeze microalgae, not days. From collection of microalgae on Klamath Lake to freezing can be as little as 4 or 5 hours. We pride ourselves on the speed of this process, knowing that we are preserving fragile nutrients that will optimize your health, because many nutrients are easily lost if not protected. Chlorophyll, beta-carotene, enzymes, phycocyanin, and other nutrients degrade quickly if the microalgae is not handled properly. The bottom line, this harvesting process keeps all the nutrients in wild microalgae intact. Harvesting is a core capability of New Earth. We brought this product to market and are proud of the level of excellence that we have achieved. With our equipment, experienced team, and technology, we can maintain a large inventory of high-quality wild microalgae and provide exceptional products that help each person live in vibrant health. Come live, give, and grow with us.
And our president and COO, Jerry Anderson, certainly said it best. But I just wanted to take the time to call out a couple of things and emphasize a couple of things about our harvesting and processing technology and commitment is just as important as anything else. I don't think I'm saying anything new on this video. I just wanted to describe a little bit of what's going on. And thank you for joining us tonight. Share this video with other people that maybe are just starting with New Earth or don't yet know about New Earth. We're here to help answer questions, and we appreciate you for joining us. Understand that we want your investment in us and in your health with us, I guess, better said, to really pay off. And that's why we take the care that we just showed you today in harvesting and processing our organic wild microalgae. Thanks for joining.